Hey Jim, welcome back to Runstock. We've got an exciting week coming up with Rat Race, starting off this weekend at Man vs Lakes. A few of us are gearing up for it. Have you got anything that you can tell us about it that we might not know already?
Well, pack your bucket and spade because you're going to be going on the sands. It's going to start with quite an interesting few first kilometres, something really not seen in an event for quite a while, which is forging out over the Morecambe Bay, braving the quicksand and entering the southern lakes at Grange over Sands. So that first few K is going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be hard because it's you're on sand, so it's going to be pretty squelchy. There's a few channels for folk to go over, and then you're into the lakes proper, and it gets pretty lumpy and bumpy pretty quick. So those that have been off-road, done the miles off-road, they'll be okay. Those that haven't, well, we'll see. It's the lakes, it could be wet from the sky as well as from below. It probably will be. And then as the event progresses, we've got 26.2 miles, a little bit more actually, just about 45k as opposed to 42. But as people approach Windermere, they're going into the wet zone, as it were. We've got a massive rope swing off a crane into a lake. We've got a floating assault course on Windermere. We've got lots of watery activities, as you would expect. So it's a very unique event, and the Man versus brand has been really good for Rat Race in Snowdonia, Man versus Mountain. So we're hoping for another classic.
Brilliant. And for those who've done Man versus Mountain before, would you say that this is going to be tougher for them, or?
It'll be on par, I think. I mean, it's there's a lot of ascent in this. You're not going as high as the summit of Snowdon, but there's a lot of short and very sharp ascents in this one. So total ascent is pretty fierce. The climbing is consistent, but it's lower lying. So you're going to be going up and down quite a lot more. Whereas Snowdon, it's all the way up and it's all the way down.
Yeah, brilliant. And here we are in a very noisy Wembley, the venue for Survival of the Fittest, which is less than a month away. Survival of the Fittest in the summertime this time. How can people expect things to be any different to normal?
Well, hopefully it won't be snowing this year. I'm hoping it's going to be different in that respect, certainly. Rat Race is unique in that we go from the Lake District to the city centre, just like that. And so 2 weeks after being in the lakes, we'll be back here in central London. Survival's always a classic. It's a big event. People love that big event atmosphere. Backdrop, Wembley Stadium, can't beat it. We have deliberately moved it to the summer. Last year it was in mid to late November. It was pretty horrible, to be honest. So we've really gone for the summer ticket. The beer tent's a big part of the action there. We'll crack out the bunting and the picket fencing and get the beers on. That's what it's about. We want to make sure it's a really good summer event, and that's where it's going to be in the calendar going forward.
Yeah, brilliant. And coming up after that, which actually, maybe a few more of the community in particular might not have got around to doing, is River Rat Race. So tell us a little bit about that for those who might not be familiar with it.
Yeah, so River Rat Race, we've been doing River Rat Races for a few years. The London event's 2 years old, but we've been doing them in Stockton-on-Tees. We've done one previously in Glasgow as well. And the idea very much is to, as the name would suggest, jump in and celebrate the wet stuff. Takes place in Docklands, Excel Exhibition Centre, so very easy place to get to on the DLR. Indoor backdrop, indoor event village, so even if the worst does happen with the weather, it's all dry for afterwards. And it's the emphasis here is on fun. It's probably one of Rat Race's funnest events. There's a big jump into the water, as you would expect from ourselves. There's a slide into the water. There's lots of floaty stuff. There's lots of different encounters with the water, and there's also a bit of kayaking as well. So you kind of you swap your feet for your hands in this one, and people don't need to worry. It's not that they're pretty much impossible to capsize, although I suspect you'll have a good go at doing that, Pete. The kayaking is not to be feared, but it is something quite different in a race. So yeah, it all happens on the Royal Victoria Dock. You've got the planes of London City Airport coming in overhead. It's a really cool skyline off in the distance for Canary Wharf. It's uber urban, but it's very, very different.
So it is. So for people who might have done Survival of the Fittest, or even people who are doing Survival of the Fittest this month, they do get enough of a different experience to kind of warrant doing the boat.
I mean, Survival is very urban in terms of the obstacles. We use shipping containers, we use a lot of scaffolding, we use everything that you would expect from a survival course. In terms of that kind of urban vibe. There's a few shore-based obstacles in River Rat Race, but not many. Most of it is on the water. So the kayaking, the jump, the rubber rings, the pontoons. We're cracking all of that out, and it's very much the emphasis is on getting wet. And you go in about 6 times, for 6 or 7 different activities, kind of wet side, and then, as I say, there's a few shore side as well, which people might recognise 1 or 2 of those shore-based obstacles. But it is very different to survival.
Yeah. And how big's the water jump this year?
Well, it always gets a bit bigger, shrouded in mystery. Word has it that you can see the curvature of the earth from the top of it, so it's big. It's a knee trembler. Yeah, and this year we're going for planks as well. So that adds to the exposure a little bit. You get up there, and instead of standing on an edge that's quite wide, you're standing on a plank that definitely isn't. So that will test a few folk mentally, definitely.
So yeah, and after River Rat Race, you're onto another one again. What's after that?
Well, in fact, before River Rat Race, we've got another one. We've snuck a new event in. July is the month for new events at Rat Race. So Man vs Lake's brand new, survival, classic, but new day. And then the week after that, we're going to an amazing location, glorious country estate, Boughton House, near Kettering. So very close to Burley for those that know Dirty Weekend. And we're doing a brand new event called Runstock, which is very much family focused. The idea is it's a 5k looped run with what we call fun stops. It's deliberately focused at the family. Kids from the age of 5 up can do this. And brilliant camping village, loads of stuff, loads of fringe activities, big zip wire, high ropes, zorb balls, bungee trampolines, loads of stuff for the kids. Beer, as you would expect from Rat Race, but the running, the running at its core is, as I say, a 5k loop course, and we have fun stops on it. And some of those fun stops have got some obstacles. We've got an assault course in there. We've got our big airbag jump. We've got slip and slide, but we've got some messy stuff in there as well. A little bit of paint thrown around, a bit of foam. We've got some funfair stalls in there as well. And the idea is you can do those or not do those. We call them fun stops. You can kind of, dive in as you would do a motorway service station. And you do as many laps as you can within the 8-hour period. And the idea is the more laps you do, the more money hopefully you raise for children with cancer as well. So there's a really good charitable vein running through that event. And yeah, it's hopefully going to be another sunny July weekend, which they all are. We've planned it, and yeah, we've got really good hopes for that one going forward. It's going to hopefully going to be one of our big Rat Race set piece events. But very, very definitely aimed at inclusivity for families to come and do it together.
Brilliant. Sounds great fun. Well, how do you do it? How are you going from one event to the next event, like within a week or 2 weeks? And you guys must never be at home, because when you know most event directors are spending a certain amount of quite a lot of time getting set up, and how are you churning through the sites across the country so quickly? Well,
we're an events company. That's our job. Weekend work is what we do. We expect it. Back to back, you have to think about it, definitely. You're out of one site into the other, but we've been doing this a long time. Rat Race has been in business since 2004. It ain't our first rodeo. We know how to move across the country, and we're moving into really different environments here. You're going from the Lake District, which is a really sort of logistics heavy event, a singular route from A to B, with all the challenges that entails, to a big set piece event in the city, which, as you can hear around us, just masses of activity going on around you, which means you've got to talk to a lot of people, to make things happen, into a beautiful country estate. So there's, and that's I believe, that's the beauty and the uniqueness of the Rat Race portfolio, really. It really is varied, and in terms of how we run it behind the scenes, well, we cut our cloth accordingly. We stick vans on the road, we stick trucks on the road. We spend a fair bit of time in McDonald's and other fast food outlets around the country, and we try from time to time to run a bit of that off at some of our own events, and practice what we preach. So it's a fun life, we're in it because we really enjoy what we do. It's great seeing the smile on people's faces when they finish the event, but it's great getting stuck in ourselves and having a pop. So it's nice way to earn a living.
Brilliant. Well, this pretty much sums it up. We're here at Wembley, and now you're literally just on the way to the Lake Districts for the Man vs Lake setup. So yeah. Well, thanks so much, Jim. Thanks for joining us again, and we'll see you around the country.
Yeah, that's right. Don't get sucked into the quicksand this weekend.